Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm really sorry for the delay. I think there were some technical issues, but we're good to go. I am going to introduce you all to the personality with whom we are going to go live today. She is somebody who has achieved a lot from her young age itself. She's been a motivational speaker. She has carried out her sessions all across the country and perhaps the world as well. She's a life coach and author, a good parent perhaps, and today we are going to go live with her and we're going to know more about her journey, how she has managed to achieve a lot at such a young age, and how she's carried forward and what she's doing right now, how she's been parenting her child. I hope it's going to be an amazing time with her. Let's see if we all can gather as much knowledge from her as much there is the capacity in us to. I like to request ma'am to kindly send me a live request. I hope she's going to get that. The moment she does that, yes, I have received her request. In just few seconds, we are going to. All right, perfect.
So finally,
we've done this.
Okay.
I'm really sorry, ma'am. I think there were some technical issues. It's not our fault. We cannot
It happens. It happens. That's perfectly
Yes.
fine. No issues with that. Yeah.
And I think this is the best way to start as well, because our session is always about failure and how to overcome it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think
welcoming failure. Yeah. So it
I
makes
think
complete sense.
I think it's been a perfect start. We can't even script some start like this. But
True.
any which ways, it's so good to see you, and I'm so happy that you have accepted our request to come live with us.
My pleasure.
There are so
My
many
pleasure.
friends eager to know about you. I'd like to give a quick introduction, ladies and gentlemen. The person who is on screen with us is none other than Dr. Swati. She is an author, a life coach, a good parent perhaps, and she has written many books. And I'm pretty sure that her TED Talks is going to impress you all. If you get the time, just go to YouTube and search Dr. Swati ma'am's YouTube TED Talk. It's going to be amazing. I personally enjoyed the entire session, ma'am. So good to see you with us here on this Instagram Live.
Thank you so much.
Well, the first question that I have for you is that, I mean, please explain about how everything changed in your life from getting 18 marks to, being the topper of the class. How did it all happen, and how wonderful was the journey for you?
That, you're talking.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm back here, and you started with the first failure of my life, and we are going to talk about failure today. So let me tell all the listeners here that I was a student of grade 10 at that time, and I was a student in a very small place in Rajasthan. It's a small town there called Barmer, and I was studying there in a Kendriya Vidyalaya, which is a central school. And I was always a good student, a topper of all the classes before grade 10, and so I was expecting very good marks in 10th grade also. But somehow when the results were declared, I got my mark sheet, and in the mark sheet what I see is that in Hindi subject I got 18 marks. And when you get 18 marks, all the students must be knowing that you don't even get grace with 18 on 100. So I was declared fail. So you can well imagine that when you start your academic career, you start your academic life with a failure in 10th grade. That is the first board exam, जिसका हम इतना हवा बनाते हैं, जिसके लिए हम कहते हैं कि भाई जिंदगी का पहला बोर्ड एग्जाम है, बहुत अच्छा जाना चाहिए, और जब वहीं पर गड़बड़ हो जाती है, so it's a bad start. But that is how I started my life. And then for the next 4 months, it was an ordeal because the results were such. Then I went for my supplementary exam, and in the supplementary exam I got 75 marks. But then when you go for a supplementary exam, you get a separate mark sheet, and it always tells everyone who sees it that you have a supplementary mark sheet attached. Hi Harsh, hello. You've been trying to. do this, to make this successful. And so here we are. And so that is how my journey started. And then after 4.5 months of very tough time. Why it was tough? Because you all know that if a student fails, it is not only a tough time for the student, but then for the others around also, like my parents, my family, they were troubled. And to my surprise, I realized that there were a lot of my friends, a lot of my peers whom I saw that they were very eager to make fun of my failure. And they all thought that, this is the reality. Maybe she was faking it since now, till now. And now she's got this marks and this is the reality. So it was kind of very tough for me to go through that phase. And after 4.5 months, when the revaluation results came, I got a merit certificate. And in that merit certificate, I got 91 marks. So the original marks were 91. But then in those 4.5 months, I was declared a failure. I accepted my failure, and it became one of the biggest lessons of my life. Because by failing in 10th grade, I realized that you can fail anytime. And if you fail, there is nothing else that we can do but to embrace it. Failures are inevitable in life. And if you fail very soon in life, then you realize that you cannot escape it. And being inevitable, the better it is, the sooner you embrace your failure. So I embraced my failure, and I think that was the stepping stone to whatever I did in my life. So 18 to 91 ka jo safar tha, it changed my life. It changed my attitude towards life. And I realized that I'm ready to face any failure that comes. I can't hear you now. Where's your voice?
I think that this story in
No.
itself is like a very big inspiration for all of us.
It was
Yeah.
it was sure a very it was a big great beginning for me, wherein I realized that failure should not be feared, it should be welcomed.
Yeah.
So I started thinking that if we make friends with failure, the life becomes easier, because failure is something that gives you the impetus to be creative, to be taking risks in your life. And so I think that anyone who wants to succeed should always be welcoming failure first.
Amazing. That's an amazing thought. Well, talking about failure, I think you've been a great parent as well, and we've all been introduced with your book as well, which I think is a big hit amongst the parents. I want to know, how do you treat the failure of your kids? Because as a parent, you want your kids to succeed, you want them to win everything, you want them to achieve the best that they have in their life.
Mhm.
How do you see the failure of your kid as well, and what sort of motivation do you give to them as to how to progress in their life?
Okay, so this is a book, 54 Reasons Why Parents Suck. So this is a book that has an amazing title, and you'll be surprised to hear that this is a book that I wrote with my daughter. So this is a book which is written by a teenager and a mother together. And if we both can write a book titled Why Parents Suck Together, it shows the relationship that I share with my daughter. And as far as the failure of my daughter is concerned, or failure of children is concerned, I understand that it is very difficult for parents to take up to absorb the failure of their kids. A lot of college students are listening to me today, and they all must be very much troubled by this thought that their parents get very angry when they fail, even if they fail in a small exam, or even if they fail in a sports championship, or anywhere where their friends get more marks, or their cousins get a better start in life, anything like that. If that happens, then parents don't like it. So what is important for us to understand here is that parents would always take the failure of children personally. All the parents feel that if my child fails, I fail. And that is why, because of taking it that personally, it becomes very difficult for parents to understand the failure, or to accept the failure of children. So I would tell all the parents that do not scare your children about failure. Tell your children that fail quick, fail as soon as possible in life. The sooner you fail, the better it is. Because once you fail, it becomes one of the best teachers for you. It becomes a mirror for you. And once you realize that I have failed, then there is nothing to lose from there. Whatever you do, it is a gain because you've lost it already. And then from there, the life starts easily. So for all the parents, it is very important to understand that if your children are failing, let them fail. Don't be upset about failures because failures are a part of life, and also because every failure becomes the stepping stone for the next success. So if my child fails, I'm perfectly fine with it, and I tell her to enjoy all the failures that she has. And believe me, she has not failed academically, but there are so many places where we fail in life. It completely depends upon our mindset. Just think about it. If there is a championship going on and there are three winners, one of them is a gold medalist, another is a silver medalist, and the third one is a bronze medalist. So now the gold medalist is definitely happy because he's successful. He got a gold. But the silver medalist, he might be thinking that I missed the gold by a whisker. Had I tried a little more, I would have gotten the gold. So he feels like a failure that I missed the gold. While just think about the mindset of the bronze medalist. He or she is thinking that I got on this podium by a whisker. Had I missed out a little bit, I wouldn't have been on this podium. So for a bronze medalist, it becomes a success. But for a silver medalist, it might be a failure. So it completely depends upon our mindset. How are we thinking about it? How are we thinking that whether it's a success or a failure? It completely depends upon our mindset.
Amazing. Talking about the mindset as well, I think there are so many students who come to the college to take admissions in universities. Some people feel that I think I am not in the right sort of college. Maybe I deserved a better college. And sometimes there are students who think that even despite of cracking the best of the marks, they think that this college is not the place to belong. So there is an identity crisis among students itself. What is your advice to them? Do you think that they should be okay with where they are, or they should make the place that they are around a better place for them to survive? Or is there any other way that they can think and they can proceed forward?
Okay. So for that, I will give you a small story. I'll share a small story with you and you will understand what I want to say there. There was a dog, and a very well-trained dog. So what happened is that he went into a bakery and he had some money in his mouth and a slip in his mouth. So he went to the bakery and gave the slip and the money to the shopkeeper, to the baker, and he purchased the bread and everything, put it in his mouth and moved out of the bakery. The baker was about to close the shop. So he closed the shop and he came out and he was looking for the master of the dog. And he realized that dog wasn't on his own. There was no one with him. So the baker was surprised and he started following the dog to see that where is the dog going. He saw that the dog reached a bus stop, stopped there and started waiting for the bus. A bus came, the dog came further, and he saw the number of the bus and then came back again and stood at the bus stop. Then another bus came, and in that bus, the dog jumped in and sat in the bus. The baker also followed the dog and went in the bus. He realized that after 3 stops, the dog on his own, without any master, with the food stuff in his mouth, he went down from the bus. So the baker also followed him. The dog went in and he opened the gate of one of the homes and went inside. Now when he went inside, he started knocking on the door. He started barking. He barked and then he knocked on the door. And suddenly a person came out and he opened the door and he started beating the dog mercilessly. So the baker came and said, no, what are you doing? Why are you beating this dog? He is such a creative, intelligent dog. He bought everything and he brought it all for you here. So you should be very proud of your dog. Why are you beating the dog? And the guy who came out, he said that this is the 3rd time in this week that he forgot the key of the main door. So he started complaining and beating the dog. What I'm trying to tell all of you is some of us have a habit of complaining no matter how good a dog we have. So it's in our mindset that we complain a lot. We talk or we always try to find out faults somewhere or the other. So if there are students who feel that, this is not the best university that I deserve, I should have been in a better place, I would tell all of them that wherever you are, make the best possible use of that place. Because a university or a degree doesn't define you. What defines you is your personality. What defines you is your thoughts, your attitude, the way you carry yourself, and the way you lead your life. So the degrees, the marks, they are only an entry ticket wherever you go. They don't serve any other purpose more than that. I don't remember any interview, I don't remember any meeting where anyone asked me how much did I score, or after a point, no one ever asked me that which university do I, belong to. They didn't even ask me that. So what matters is what you have inside you. When you enter a room, it is your personality that you take forward with you, and it is your personality that would take you places. So make the best use of wherever you are, and complaining has never helped anyone. So criticizing and complaining will not take you anywhere. Rather than criticizing, try to find out what you can do best for that place. And if you can do something, please do. As a great man said, that don't complain that this is what my country has done for me, or my country has done nothing for me. Think that what you can do for your country. Similarly, when you think about your university, about your city, think that what you can do for your university or for your city. That is very important.
Amazing, brilliant. That's wonderful. But then I think I have another doubt that comes to my mind. There are so many people who don't even get the chances. I mean, there are so many rural areas where even the girls are not allowed to go and attend the classes or the school perhaps, and they don't get choices, or they don't get the opportunity. Maybe some people do not belong to the upper middle class, or they don't have a good finance in their family to afford a good college. What would be your suggestion to them? What do you think they can do in their life? How to create chances and opportunities for themselves?
Recently, I was reading about a doctor, about a doctorate settled in USA. Her name is Dr. Tererai Trent, Trent, Dr. Tererai Trent. This woman belongs to South Africa, and she was born there. I think it was South Africa, or maybe some African country. So she was born there, and before the age of 18, she was not only married, but she had 4 children. But the only dream she had was that I want to study in US, and I want to become a successful plant specialist. And so even after getting married, even after having 4 children, she made this dream come true. And today she runs a lot of schools in her alma mater, that is in her home country. She runs schools for the poor, for the girls, for those people who do not have all the things that they want to have. So when Dr. Tererai Trent could do this, I'm sure that if we have the will in us, there are chances that we can reach wherever we want to. And to all those girls or those boys who live in rural areas and they feel that they do not have the opportunities, I would tell them that technology has become such a leveler now. It is so easy for all of us to access technology, to do a lot of these online MOOC courses, the courses which are available free to all of us. Even if you have one phone, even if you have an access to one computer in your village, there are chances that you will be able to reach out to a lot of people anywhere on this globe. So when we have these kind of opportunities, we can make use of those opportunities and try to achieve whatever we want to achieve. And then we have a lot of such networks now. For example, Professor Anil Gupta of IIM Ahmedabad, he runs a honeybee network. And in that network, any young boy or girl who has any idea, they can make a prototype of their idea, and if that idea is worth converting into any business, into any product, honeybee network, it helps them to do that. So similarly, we have a lot of such things possible today. Through technology, we can get in touch with anyone we want. We can tag a person and we can reach to those people, and it becomes easier for us to show our talent. It becomes easier for us to get guidance from people all across. So the way forward is that you show your talent. You make a video or you get in touch with such people, and it's easier for us to show our talent, to share our temperament with other people. So I don't think formal education is the only way to go forward. There are so many other ways of showing our talent. So we can use any of those to go forward today. I think that helps.
I think I need to ask this question to you because maybe when you started your career, or maybe when you were given the opportunity to get inside the school, the
Yeah.
atmosphere at that point of time was not that great for girls and especially
Mhm.
women to
Mhm.
sustain in the market.
Mhm.
How did you see? I mean, how do you see India as a country uh, giving the opportunities for women? Do you think that we are at par with all the other Western countries as well, who give more opportunities for women, or we are lacking somewhere in the middle of the straight?
Okay. Uh, I think that, of course, India as a country with the kind of population that we have, with the kind of rural and semi-urban population that we have, we definitely lag behind in a lot of ways. But at the same time, I do not think that when we look at the West, the condition of women is any better. I'm in touch with a lot of women all across the globe, and so I realize each day that the problems that we face here and the problems that they face there are almost same. And when you started your question, you asked me that when I started off, it wasn't that great a time. I always feel sad when I say this, but then the times have not changed a great deal. There are some superficial changes which are definitely there, but there is a gender bias which we see from the very beginning in our families. And unless we become gender agnostic, something that I feel very strongly about, unless we start neutralizing gender in our normal day-to-day communication, in our thought processes, till we do that, nothing can change. So what is important for all of us is to neutralize gender. That is from the very beginning of our family lives. As parents, as teachers, it's very important for us to understand that we do not give importance, or we do not kind of perpetuate the biases, the behaviors, the beliefs which always segregate, discriminate between boys and girls. The segregation that boys will wear blue and girls will wear pink, or boys will drive trucks and girls will play with dolls, or boys will do math and girls will do fashion. These kind of biases are the biggest problems in the way we raise our children. And unless we work upon that, it is not possible for girls to get all that they are capable of doing. Because parents play a very important role here, and I am very fortunate that my parents, especially my mother, she was very keen for me to get a very good education and to be self-reliant in my life. And so I was born in a gender agnostic family. In my family, I never felt that there's a difference between a boy and a girl. I don't have a brother, I don't have a son, so I don't know how it feels to be with a boy and how to be discriminated against. So I'm born in a household and I've raised a daughter wherein I feel that she got all the opportunities just like me, without feeling that a boy has more of opportunities, he has more of freedom, which girls do not have. So it is very important as parents, as teachers, as professors, as social champions for all of us to give equal, rather a neutral environment to boys and girls. When you teach your daughters to cook, teach them to cook, and at the same time, please teach your sons to cook. It's very important. And if there is no difference, if this division of labor on the basis of gender is not done, I think lives would be much better. It seems like a factory production when we divide things on the basis of gender. There was no division
Yeah.
of labor on the basis of gender. It was only good when we had those lives where women had to stay home and men had to work out. Now there is nothing like that which we need. So there should be no division of labor based on gender anymore. So the sooner we realize that, the better the conditions would be for girls, for women, anywhere, be it India or anywhere on this earth. So I don't think that we are far behind because we are Indians. It's the same everywhere.
Yeah, amazing. I think if you ever had a son, he would be of my age. I'm 24 right now, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I have a
So
daughter who's 19. Yeah. So
all right. But any which ways, I think the best part about this entire conversation that we've had is that you've not only told us about how the parents should act, but also what to expect from the kids and how to nurture them. But I think as much as there is a pattern for parents to teach their kids or to grow their kids, there is a pattern for the kids as well to see how they train their parents as well.
yeah.
What sort of advice would you like to give to us, the children, to see in our parents? Because there are times when we get frustrated by our parents because they don't understand certain thing, or they're not as aware about the technology as we are, and they try to give us a lot of other how do I tell you,
Oh,
superficial things that
they give a
yeah.
lot of instructions, they give a lot of
Yes.
opinions, and there is an
Yeah.
opinion overdose from parents all the time.
So how to tackle that, and how do you think
I
the
know.
kids should react at that point of time?
It is kind of very difficult right now also when there was a connectivity issue going on. So my daughter and my husband, they both were trying to help me, and so they were helping me, and at the same time they were having a discussion amongst each other going on. My daughter was telling me that this is how it should be done, and of course we are technology deficient people, while the younger generation knows more. So I'm sure that we as parents should listen to the younger generation more. And I think there is a very beautiful term called mentor that I use in such situations. A mentor is
Okay.
a mix of a mentor and an intern. So,
Okay.
after children become 19 or 20 or they are teenagers, at that time parents should start behaving like mentors. That is, they are mentors as well as interns. So what happens
Yeah.
is you become a mentor to your children, you guide them, you encourage them, you tell them things, but at the same time you become an intern also. So you start
Yeah.
learning with them, you start reverse mentoring. That is, you allow your children to teach you things. So I learn a lot of things from my daughter every day, not only from her, but from my students also. There are so many of them who would always teach me things. One of my students only forced me right now to start making some YouTube videos, and he's the one who's telling
Yeah.
me that you should have a YouTube channel and do something about it. So what happens is it's very important for children to tell their parents that it's very good, and you can tell them that Swati ma'am said so, that you can always turn into the role of a mentor and start being both. You can be a mentor and you
Yeah.
can be an intern too. And the children also should understand this, that there are some things that we need to listen from parents, because parents might not have the technical knowledge, but the wisdom that parents have, you do not have it yet, because they have seen
Agreed.
more life, they have had more experiences. And then, parents are very scared for their children all the time. Parents want
Yeah.
their children not to fail, not to have problems in their lives. And so they always want to kind of control them so that they do not get into any trouble. Parents are always
Yeah.
scared that if we don't stop them, they will get into trouble. So they do not want their children to get into trouble, and that is why they give so much of gyan all the time to children, which children do not appreciate all the time. So I would tell the children to be a little more appreciative of the parents, the pains that the parents take for them everywhere. And as all the old parents or grandparents say, that you will understand it when you will have your own children. Believe me, this is absolutely true. There are so many things that I would get angry with my parents about. And now, when I
Yeah.
have my daughter, or I have so many students, children who are more like my own children, so when I see them,
Yeah.
I get the same kind of. My suggestion here is that try to understand the viewpoint of parents also, and be more patient towards your parents. If they are very stressed about you,
Yeah.
then, please be
I'm going to
patient with them.
I'm going to tell you something. So yesterday I was on call with my mom, and I told her that since morning I'm not been feeling well. Like I am not able to concentrate on my work. So she immediately went to the kitchen. She brought some salt in her hand, and then she asked me to look into the salt, and then she literally she क्या बोलते हैं उसको हिंदी में नजर निकाल दिया मेरा. She was so नजर उतार. She was so concerned and she did that, and she asked me to to spit from from where you are, just spit onto the phone.
So, mothers are so
Online.
creative. Mothers are so
Yeah.
creative. They can do this. वो तुम्हारी online नजर उतार रही थी. उन्होंने technology का कितना अच्छा use किया. And then she would feel that there's a effect of it, and she would tell you that you will start feeling better. And maybe you
And trust
started
me, I
feeling
don't know
better.
what happened. I did feel good after that. I got a call from Triloki, and he told me that Vishnu, there's a session tomorrow, and I was like, okay, fine, wow, that's amazing. I think it's just the nature. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, it was possible for you to shun your mother or to tell her, come on, what are you doing? What is this,
Yeah.
this desi thing or this, orthodox thing that you are doing? I don't want this to, don't do this. But then I appreciate you that you let her do what she wanted to. And see, I don't know whether it worked or not, but at least you felt better, right?
Yes.
So your mother helped you feel better, isn't it? So let them
It
do
does.
what
It does. I think
there is no harm.
that's what I tell my friends as well. I think as long as we agree to what they are and not think too much about it, they're going to be in a fine place.
Exactly. And I tell you that no one would ever care for you the way your parents do. And I tell all Indian children all the time कि हिंदुस्तानी breed के जो parents हैं वो दुनिया में और कहीं नहीं मिलते. आप
Agreed.
बहुत खुशनसीब हैं कि आपको ऐसे पेरेंट्स मिले हैं जो आपकी फिक्र सारी उम्र करते हैं. आप 40 साल के हो जाएंगे तब भी वो आपकी फिक्र करते रहेंगे, and they will treat you like your children, and they would take care of you and your children also. No one else does it. No other parents anywhere on the globe do it. So feel grateful, feel blessed that we have such parents. वो आपकी माँ ने आपकी कल नजर उतारी, वो 10 साल बाद 20 साल बाद भी ऐसे ही नजर उतारी, है ना?
Yes.
तो और क्या चाहिए? We have amazing parents. तो कुछ बोला या कुछ ज्यादा ओपिनियंस दी, ज्यादा इंस्ट्रक्शंस दिए तो सुन लेने का ना. पेरेंट्स से तो सुन ही सकते हैं. there is no harm in it. ये तो प्रशांत. Yeah.
So I'm going to now quickly change our conversation to a different level now. I think we've talked about failures, we talked about parenting.
Yeah.
Now the next thing that you're good at, it's the entrepreneurship. I think you've been a successful entrepreneur as well, and
I've
you've
been a
managed.
successful and a failed entrepreneur too. Yeah.
I think it's inevitable to not fail in entrepreneurial journey, because failure is, I think, the biggest star mark in your resume when you are an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
So I want to ask you, there were so many young people who might have come up with young, startups, but due to this lockdown, they must have suffered a huge setback, and they must be going through, hundreds of different of things in their head as well. They must be wondering about how to sustain it, or some might have already lost what they have started. What would be your advice to them? What would be your suggestions to them? What would be your recommendation to them as to what to do at this point of time when everything is frozen?
See, there is not much advice that can be given in such an unprecedented situation that we are facing at the moment. And it is such a big, I would not say failure, but it is something that we cannot do much about. So this is a situation which we all need to embrace. And there are such problems just around the corner for all of us, not only economic, but also emotional and long-term problems that all the entrepreneurs and other small businesses are going to face. And it's a real tough time ahead for all of us. So to all the new entrepreneurs, I would say that try to keep all your expenses as minimalistic as possible at the moment. Please try to skittle down all the major expenses. Whatever you can reduce, do it right now. Don't feel attached to a new office. Don't feel attached to fixed assets right now, because you can buy them later, you can make them later. But right now, if you cannot sustain your business, it's going to be far more tough. Rather than firing people, it is better that you try and reduce all those fixed costs which you are having apart from the human resource, because firing your team or reducing your team will not be a great idea at the moment. Having people around would help you, and they will help you build from scratch again. But then you can always use your other expenses. That will help you a great deal. Also, do not hide your problems at the moment. Please share it with someone. Please share it with some friends. Please share it with your parents, relatives, maybe with your angel investors. Please share it on some platforms so that you do not suffer alone. And when you share it, you will know that there are so many like you who are also sailing in the same boat at the moment. There are so many of us who are having troubles, but then we don't share it, we do not admit it, we do not come out clean and tell people that this is the problem that I'm facing. So please share your problem, admit that this is what I'm going through, and so there would be solutions which you can get. And also be strong right now. A financial loss at the moment, a failed business, is not a reason for you to jump from a 16-story building. So please understand that you need to value your life more than anything else. Money is not something that defines you. A failed business or a failed enterprise is not something that will define you. Rather, if you admit your failure, it will be considered as a strength for you, that you failed and still you are here and you are a fighter. So fight it out. Don't feel right now that, oh my God, what will I do? This too will pass. This too shall pass. There is nothing that will stop this time here. As we enter into it, we will have an exit also. So just stick your neck there. Just hold on to your dreams. And even if you do not succeed immediately, success is just there. So if you're failing right now, accept it, embrace it, let it seep in, but then don't give up. That is what I can tell all of you. And believe me, we can fail anytime. And this is the situation which is leading to failure. These are uncontrollable, unprecedented times right now. And a lot of us are going to fail in one way or the other. So this is the time to stay strong. So let us stay as together as possible. Let's share things with each other. It's very important for us. Please do not fire people in your enterprises. Try to keep them with you. Please share things. Please share whatever you all have got. Admit the problems that you all are having. And I think we will be able to sail through this time.
Agreed. That's a wonderful insight. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the motivation. I think looking at the time, this is going to be my last question to you. And the last question is, what would be your suggestion to the young authors, the ones who are going to pursue writing, the ones who are interested to, share their thought with the world? What are the tips or the advices that you'd like to give them? How to start, what to do, what not to do?
Okay, so for all the authors or the budding writers, people who love to write, I only give one advice to all of them. Anyone who comes to me asking for what should I do to become a writer, the only advice is write. The more you write, the better it becomes. So make writing a routine. You need to write something every day. Fix up a time. If not a time, then at least be in that zone where you write something. It is not essential that it should make sense. It is not essential that it should be a story or it should be a novel. It should be a poem. It should be something. No, it's not important. It could be a snippet. It could be just an idea. It might not be fleshed out. But then you should be in habit of writing. Every writer, every author who has been able to finish a few books must be having plenty of books which are unfinished lying in their closets. I have written 8 of them. 3 of them have been bestsellers. And my latest one of the books here, this is a biography of one of my friends. And this is going to be edited into a biopic by John Abraham Productions now.
Wow.
So it's going to be edited into a film. Thank you so much. So to all the budding writers, my only suggestion is that please try and write every day. And I would not, suggest you to take suggestions from a lot of people or show your writing to a lot of people, because there are a lot of people who are very critical, and that might impact your, beginning trials to write. So don't do that.
Yeah.
Then show it to your loved ones, or show it to some close friends who would give you the right advice, or who would at least try and pat you to keep writing. So that is very important for all the budding writers, that keep writing. And of course, the second thing is read as much as possible. The more different kind of authors, different genres that you read, the better your writing would become. So you must read a lot, and you should keep writing consistently. That's very important.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much for each and every word that you said out here in this live session. I think it has been a remarkable session for all of us. We've learned a lot, and truly, I think it has been one of the best sessions when it comes to understanding how to go ahead in our life, be it academically, or be it in our personal life with our parents. Everything that you delivered was just astonishing. I hope that there will be a time when you'll come to our university and we can have a guest lecture planned as well.
I always love to talk to students, and as an entrepreneur, I started my journey with a organization of mine where I used to train young students all the time. So it is always a pleasure to talk to young people like you, and so it has been a pleasure through and through. And I hope that you all succeed, not only as professionals, but I always believe that real success, 360-degree success, is success when you succeed as a professional, as a partner, as a parent, and as a person. So try to be successful in all the four realms. That is important for us.
Finally, I'd like to thank the Student Alumni Association as well, who have helped us.
To thank Harsh and Aman, who have been with my team for last 2 weeks, talking to them about how to hold this session. So there was some issues in the beginning, but never mind. This is how we learn. This is how we go ahead. And right now, these technological or technical glitches are all welcome. As long as we learn from them, it is perfectly fine. So I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I am Vishnu. Hope you'll remember me. I hope to see you again sometime.
It was great talking to you. Stay strong, stay safe. All the listeners,
Thank you.
please stay safe. And big thank you to Team SARC for having me here. Thank you, all of you. And all the best to LPU for all the future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you. Same to you. Bye-bye.